Hello, and welcome back to another live stream with another Retro Achievements Achievement of the Week, week 15 of 2026, with the game Horrible Histories, Ruthless Romance, and the achievement No Sight, All Fight. Complete the Andabatae trials and defeat the Andabatae gladiator. I have no idea what to even expect from this game. I haven't seen any information on Retro Achievements that we have some kind of April Fool's themed month for April, but given the choice of this achievement of the week as well as the achievement of the month for April, which I haven't gotten around to yet, and the fact that last week's game was also kind of unusual, I get the feeling that might be happening, because how else do you explain a game like this being the achievement of the week? The genres on Retro Achievements are tagged as educational mini-games. So yeah. Like I said, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if it's gonna use the DS touchscreen or if it's gonna be just controller, or what is going to be happening. But I guess all the more reason to just get straight into it and find out, right? So let's do just that. As I'm gonna restart the emulator, start the timer, and we'll get going. Okay. I guess you need the... Is that... Hello? Is that touchscreen even working? Okay. Did I not start up Open Tablet Driver? Yeah, I didn't. That's what was happening. All history can be horrible, but in the ancient days of Roman Emperor... Okay, That's a statue of Commodus over there, a cruel man. Our story starts in Dacia, where the Dacians dig up gold for something. The peasants are revolting. Well, they usually are. The Roman armies sent in the 5th Legion just to sort the rebels out. Loyal and devoted is the motto of these men. Their leader is Lucius Gladius, or Gladius the Glorious, as he likes his men to call him. Disaster strikes. The leader, Lucius, hurts his leg. Oh, he's not so Gladius now. His horse has run away, which is the wisest thing to do. If the Dacians capture Lucius, why, they'll kill him. What can this noble Roman general do? Fight on to the death? No. He'll hide and hope that no one finds him. Lucius slips into the darkness of a Dacian hut. He's safe for now, until he looks up. Then he sees two bright eyes staring back at him. In the darkness, Lucius sees the strange eyes of a frightened child. He looks at child. Child looks at him. They both look at each other. It's hard to say who's frozen most with fear. A deadly Dacian warrior bursts into the hut. His eyes are not used to the dark, and Lucius hasn't moved, so the Dacian fails to see the Roman. Phew, Lucius saved, and all thanks to the lack of seeing that child. The Romans win the battle in the end, and they rescue leader Lucius, back to Rome, but Lucius has to take that child, a boy called Rasimus. Rasimus has brought him luck. From now on, that sad boy will be the slave of Lucius Gladius. Lucius calls him Lucky Lad. The years pass by, as most years do, and little Rasimus has made his home in Rome. Lucius Gladius thinks it's time that he retired, before his luck runs out, sort of loyal and devoted till I hurt me leg in Dacia. Of course, he will be bored if he just gives up work, and so he starts a school for gladiators. And he decides it would be fun to let young Rasimus train as one. The slave boy has no choice. The thing is, Rasimus is Lucius's lucky lad, so Rasimus can do the training, but he never must get hurt. He can win the prizes, but not risk a gruesome gladiator end. Rasimus agrees to follow with his master's plan, but little does old Lucius know, his lucky lad has his own reasons why he plays those ruthless Roman games. Rasimus fights, but freedom is his aim. Okay, gladiator training. Find your master Lucius and speak with him to begin your gladiator training. Game tutorial. Use the control pad to move Rasimus. Find the Vademecum notice board and press the A button to find out important information. There are many objects that you can interact with, for example doors, characters and various items when you are within their activation zone. Press the A button to interact with that object. When you see a balloon above a character, this means that you can speak with him or her and discover useful information. The doors and passages between zones are marked with green arrows if they are open or a red lock if they are locked. You must solve puzzles to open locked doors. When you see a blue mechanical icon, this means that you can interact with a special mechanism in the game. When you see a dice icon, it means that you can play a minigame. Okay. On the bottom screen you can access the diary, inventory, map and school report by touching them with the Nintendo DS stylus. The diary shows completed and ongoing quests. Touch the arrows to scroll through the story chapters. Touch the numbers to view the quests from that chapter. The inventory shows items awarded as you progress through the story. Items disappear from your inventory once they have been used. The map helps you navigate Rome, showing important locations. To scroll the map, drag it by sliding the Nintendo DS stylus while touching it. Your location is marked on the map. The school report shows your progress at the gladiator school in the 8 gladiator skills. To create a save game, you must activate a save point, a pillar with a scroll on the top. There is one in every area of the game. Close your Nintendo DS to pause the game. Is this the save point? No. This is the map. Nothing in the inventory. Okay, so I guess I just leave. Oh, I have to stand on that icon to leave. This is probably the save point. Okay, so saving is at least fairly quick. What is this thing? Was that introduced? Did you know, sometimes the arenas were filled with water to make real naval battles with warship. Some victims of gladiator shows were people who were charged with the crime of being Christians. So the show in the arena was just an excuse to execute people that Romans didn't like. During a break between gladiator fights, there was non-violent entertainment like animal shows you can see today at the circus. Elephants traced Latin words in the sand and tigers licked the hand of their trainer. Spectators found this very amusing. Yeah, whatever, I don't care about that. Where am I going? Exactly. Here, maybe? Oh, this is someone. Okay. I'm Lucius Gladius, Gladius the Glorious. You, slave Rasimus, will train here as a top gladiator. I'd rather be free. Only 8 skills to learn. Retiari, Bestiari, Andabatae, whatever. Easy? I think not. So where do I start? Here, lad. Take this puzzle piece. Put it into the gladiator mosaic. That's the large block of stone in the middle of this square. That will unlock a mad minigame. Play it to win. I'll be minigame mad if I lose. Then you'll be off to the classroom for the terrible test. When time has come to test, I'm the best. When you pass, there will practice test fight in the school arena. It's tests without rests. Pass all 3 in any order you like, Rasimus, then come to me for a power permit to fight in the Colosseum itself. In honor, my lucky lad, you will fight the champion of that skill. Lucky me. Okay. Congratulations, you spoke to Lucius and now have the necessary information to begin gladiator training. Complete the gladiator training and learn the 8 gladiator styles. Retiari. Go to the gladiator's mosaic and insert the first puzzle piece to begin the Retiari gladiator training. So this... Congratulations, you inserted the first puzzle piece. You're ready to learn the art of Retiari gladiator. Win the free minigames to obtain the authorizations. Fight against the Retiari gladiator in the Colosseum. Talk to him again. Now, my boy, start your training as one of the Retiari. They fight with nets and forks. Best of luck. Fight with nets? Sounds fishy. I'll slave away to do my best. Okay, so do I go for here? And I guess this place. Retiari. Select the color to be used and color accurately the image shown on the bottom of the screen by sliding the stylus. Okay. How does that work? Do I need to reach 100 or do I just need to wait for the timer to run out? don't think I'm gonna reach 100. Oh wait, there's this whole section as well. Well, the time is up. You win! Okay. Good enough, apparently. Okay, what's next? Save while I'm here. Let's read through these, because apparently that's part of an achievement. Is this another? This might be the arena, so let's do that last. Hey, Camille Drews in the chat. Good to hear that it's apparently a fun game. Only just started, but there's more of these things in here. Whatever, let's just talk to this guy. Good day, teacher. I'm busy writing the school quiz. Students must pass 8 quizzes before they can leave. Where will I find help, teacher? Have you read the fascinating fact in the books? Wherever you find them, they have a colored book turning on the top. It's very important to pass the quiz. If you want to win, then read the blue books in this room. When it comes to a quiz, then I do the biz. So let's try the first quiz. I'm ready. Just one achievement of the week away from bronze tier. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well, I haven't missed a single achievement so much this year, so I'm already 5 past that. Okay, let's see the test. Answer the questions correctly. Select your answer by touching it with the stylus. Your goal is 5. Let's see if I will know these without reading the in-game lore. One. What did Emperor Claudius do when he discovered the parties of his open-minded wife? Probably killed her. Yep. Who was the first Roman emperor? Julius Caesar? No. Augustus Caesar. Okay. Right, Caesar wasn't technically an emperor. How did Caligula want to copy Julius Caesar? By crowning himself? No, by invading Britain. Yeah, apparently I don't know a lot of these. What did Augustus do with Brutus's head? Stack it on a pipe would be the traditional thing, I think. No. Throw it to Julius's statue. In ancient Rome there was no TV, so Emperor Claudius used to watch... Oh god. Criminals being tortured? Okay. Emperor Nero loved to... burn people, I think? No, murder people. Just murder, not quite burn. When did Emperor Tiberius throw his enemies? Not sure what a gully is, so let's try that one. No, from a cliff top. Emperor Tiberius had a bad habit of... maybe cutting off fingers? No, breaking legs apparently. Who avenged Julius Caesar's death? Mark Antony sounds correct? Yeah. What did Emperor Nero love to watch his glutton doing? I don't know. Nails? Eat humans, apparently. Well, I got 3. I guess let's try actually reading the information in-game and learn something. Emperor Nero didn't like Christians and cruelly persecuted them. They would be tied to a post, covered in tar and set alight. They would be covered in animal skins and thrown to hungry wild dogs. They were crucified in large numbers. Emperor Honorius loved chickens. His favorite was called Rome. He was hiding in his mansion, safe from the invading Goths, when the city of Rome was overrun by Alaric and his army. A messenger arrived to say Rome is lost. Honorius was heartbroken. Emperor Caligula executed people, then auctioned off their things. If you wanted something, you nodded. One senator, Aponius, kept nodding, falling asleep. When he awoke, he found he had bought 13 gladiators. They cost him 90,000 gold pieces. Julius Caesar believed in fate. If he was to die, there was nothing he could do about it. A fortune teller told him not to go to the Senate on the 15th. Caesar was murdered on the 15th of March, 44 BC, at the Senate, sustaining 23 wounds. Julius Caesar's killers made the mistake not killing Mark Antony too. They only wanted to stop Caesar from becoming king, but Mark Antony led a campaign of vengeance to destroy the killers. Brutus committed suicide when Mark Antony defeated him. Augustus Caesar became the first Roman emperor. He was a good emperor, so the Romans thought it was a good idea to have them. Even when a bad man became emperor, the Romans didn't give up on the idea. They just murdered him and got a new one. Sounds like Romans. Emperor Tiberius had his enemies tortured, then thrown off the cliffs into the sea, while he watched. Emperor Caligula had a very hairy body, like a goat, so he'd be executed if you said the word goat while you were with him. There is no doubt that Emperor Nero was mad. He told people he was a god, and anyone who refused to call him a god ended up in the sewers. Nero's most disgusting hobby was to keep a glutton, an Egyptian slave who ate everything he was fed. It seemed that Nero really enjoyed watching his glutton kill a human and eat him. I'm not sure how much of this I'm actually remembering, just reading it once, but we'll find out. Emperor Tiberius was always saying, "I don't care if they hate me as long as they obey me." Nobody dared to challenge him because he simply broke the legs of anyone who did. Emperor Caligula made his dear friend Incitatus a consul. Incitatus became one of the most powerful rulers in the Roman Empire. So Incitatus was his favorite horse. I've actually vaguely remembered that story of a horse consul from somewhere. When Emperor Claudius was getting bored, he watched criminals being tortured and men being flogged to death. One day Claudius discovered that his wife was a bit of a flirt and had wild friends. Claudius not only had her executed, but 300 party friends were too. His niece Agrippina poisoned him with mushrooms. Emperor Nero had a nasty habit of murdering people. He poisoned his half-brother, beheaded his wife, Octavia, had his second wife, Poppaea, murdered, and ordered his mother flogged to death. She escaped, so Nero sent 2 murderers to kill her. After Julius Caesar's death, Octavian, his grandnephew, became the dictator that Julius wanted to be. He changed his name to Augustus Caesar, once again, the thing that Romans feared. Rule by one all-powerful man had returned. Emperor Caligula wanted to copy Julius Caesar and invade Britain. In 40 AD, he went to the Roman base in Boulogne, northern France, where he set sail to lead the invasion. He turned back when he saw that no one wanted to follow him. Julius Caesar's killers chose Brutus as a leader because he was considered very honest. They thought that if the murderers were honest, it would be for the good of the Romans. Emperor Caligula's real name was Gaius Caligula. Caligula was just a nickname, meaning little boot. This was because he liked dressing up and playing at being a soldier from a very early age. Get out of the way achievement pop-up, thank you. Augustus Caesar was one of the more human emperors, but he had his moments. Julius Caesar's death really upset him. In fact, he sent Brutus's head to Rome to be thrown at the feet of Julius Caesar's statue. Okay, let's try the quiz again. Emperor Nero didn't like Christians, so he covered them with animal skins and had them thrown to... He said hungry dogs? Yes. 2. What did Emperor Claudius do when he discovered the parties of his open-minded wife killed her and her friends? We already had that one. What did Augustus do with Brutus's head? Threw it to the feet of Julius's statue. Where did Emperor Tiberius throw his enemies? From a cliff top. Another repeat question. Emperor Tiberius had a bad habit of breaking legs. That was this one, right? Yes. Why was Brutus chosen as leader of the killers of Julius Caesar? He was honest. Who avenged Julius Caesar's death? Mark Antony. What does Caligula mean? Little boot. Where did Nero throw people that refused to call him a god? Into the sewers, yes. And question 10. Emperor Caligula's body was as hairy as a goat. Nice, perfect score. Now on to the arena, I guess. More reading. Find matching figures until you solve the game. Touch a card with the stylus to select it. Your goal is 12. Okay, just a memory game. Okay. I don't remember some of the early ones already. That was somewhere. Was that this? No, that was an hourglass. Okay. Easy. Congratulations, you completed all 3 challenges necessary to learn the Retiari art. Go to Lucius to ask for authorization to fight against the Retiari gladiator in the Colosseum. Let's save while we're passing by here. I'm so good, I'm ready for the Colosseum, I reckon. You have the power permit. The school door is open to you, brave lad. Beat the Retiari gladiator and get the next puzzle piece. And if I lose, try again. There's a piece of gold armor that makes you stronger. You're in it to win it. If I do win, I'll be a cut above the rest. Congratulations, you received permission from Lucius to fight against the Retiari gladiator in the Colosseum. Go to the Colosseum and defeat the Retiari gladiator to obtain the second puzzle piece and the first gold armor piece. this way. I think that was locked before. Okay, here's the Colosseum. What happens in here? Should an attack, press the button to follow the sequence or trace as much of the image as possible by sliding the stylus. Okay. B plus X, that's vertical. A plus R. Y plus L, God. X plus R. R plus B. L plus R. Yeah, it's difficult having to translate because I'm more used to the Xbox button layout than Nintendo, so let's try the other one. Okay, that one's better. Okay, let's keep going with this one, I guess. That seems to be working better for me. Oh god. F plus L. I'm just gonna keep picking this one because it's easier. That. Okay, did I win? Okay. New armor piece, new puzzle piece. Cool. You defeated the Retiari gladiator. You received the second puzzle piece and the first armor piece, gold shoulder guard. That makes 1 out of 3 that I need to defeat. Okay. The bestiary. Go back to Lucius's gladiator school and insert the second puzzle piece into the mosaic to begin the bestiary gladiator training. Well, maybe I should just keep holding the pen for the drawing tablet I'm using, since I'm gonna be switching between the controller and that all the time. Inserted the second puzzle piece in the gladiator mosaic, and you are ready to learn the art of bestiary gladiators. Win the free minigames to obtain the authorization. Fight the bestiary gladiator in the Colosseum. I guess we don't get introductions to all of them this time. Or I guess maybe if I talk to him I could get that. Okay, it's coloring again. Let's hope I don't miss an entire area this time around. And this is gonna be just the hair, I think. And then this will be the belt, and this thing, 93. Can I improve that at all? Doesn't seem like it. But it was good enough. More Roman history next. Do I need to talk to him again? Did you read the books around Rome? Read the Azure books in the Gladiator. Then let's try the second quiz. Okay, so now I need these books around here that I already skimmed through. So, not all gladiators fought to the death. Gladiators cost money to feed and train. No one would spend money to see it wasted in a few short chops. Top gladiators lived to fight again. Only criminals were sent into the arena to fight to the death. The criminals who were meant to be slaughtered in the arena were badly trained. They were called Noxi and had no chance to survive. The top gladiators could win a lot of fights and at last win their freedom. Next one is here. Sometimes the fights were between wild animals and armed men. Caesar had a moat built around the arena to protect the spectators from the animals. During gladiator fights, you would have seen men against panthers, lions, and tigers, but the men were usually heavily armed with spears, flaming torches, bows, lances, and daggers. Some even took a pack of hounds into the arena to help them. In the arenas, it was not rare to see men with cloaks against bulls, as we can see today in Spain. One day a spectator made a joke about the emperor, Domitian. He was taken out of the crowd and thrown to a pack of angry dogs. Romans really liked animals fighting in the arena. Once in AD 80, 5,000 animals were killed in the Colosseum. If you were meant to die in the arena, the Romans made sure of it. After a fight, two men entered dressed as Mercury, messenger of the gods, and Dis, god of the dead. Mercury stuck a red-hot poker into you and made sure by smashing you hard in the head. If the gladiator gave up, exhausted, he could surrender. The emperor would then decide if he deserved to live or not. The crowd would usually tell him by screaming, "Mitte, let him go," or "Iagula, kill him." The emperor would signal his decision to kill a surrendered gladiator with his thumb. Thumb down for death, thumb up for life. That is actually a myth. We don't know exactly what the gestures were. That's a modern invention, that it was thumbs up, thumbs down. Some of the bloodiest gladiator fights were between criminals under death sentences. An unarmed man was put in the arena with an armed man. The armed man was then disarmed, and the next man entered. As soon as one fell, another was put in the ring. In the arena, there would be bears which were chained to a post and tormented for the entertainment of the crowd. Then I need to find another one somewhere. What does the map look like exactly? Okay, there's a lot more areas around there. Unless I missed another book somewhere. No, there seem to be books of all kinds of colors out here. Where is another blue book? Talk to this guy, apparently. I'm not sure I'm interested. Can't go down there yet. Where even am I? It's orange. Well, there's one more area. Hopefully it has the last book. It doesn't. So I missed one somewhere. Oh yeah, it's this way to go back, right? So where the hell is the last... Oh, up here. The Romans brought the gladiator fights to Britain, battles between teams of armed men, half of which would be sure to lose their lives. The idea of fighting and killing as a game probably began at funerals. People believed that the souls of the dead were kept happy with human blood, and so at funerals they sacrificed prisoners of war and slaves of poor quality. The funeral sacrifices changed into fights to the death between two men at the funeral. They became so popular that they were taken away from the funeral and put in a huge arena. The fighters became known as gladiators. In Rome there had been schools for gladiators where a slave would train and fight for a gladiator master. If he won enough battles and murdered enough opponents, he would win a fortune and his own freedom. Yep. Get out of the way. Achievement pop-up, thank you. The greatest prize for a gladiator was the wooden sword, the symbol of freedom. Didn't we already get a wooden sword right at the beginning? Isn't that kind of out of order? Okay, second quiz. Answer the questions correctly. Select your answer by touching it with the stylus. Your goal is 5. What happened to the spectator who made a joke about the Emperor Domitian? Thrown to dogs. What was the crime of some of the victims of gladiator fight? Being Christians. What did a gladiator obtain if he won enough fights? His freedom. How did the Romans make sure a gladiator was dead after the fight? With a red-hot poker. What were the criminals badly trained to fight in the arena called? Noxi, I think? Yes. In addition to weapons and armor, what did the gladiators sometimes take into the arena for help? Hounds. Which were the bloodiest gladiator fights? Armed versus unarmed. Yes. Why were the arenas sometimes filled with water? To fight naval battles. Sometimes the fights were between gladiators and wild animals. Final question. Where did the Romans bring the gladiator fights to? Britain. And another mini game in here. Bullets. Drag the blue disc using the stylus, avoiding the red objects and collecting the green ones. Your goal is 7. Get it. Oh, that one spawned on top of me. Well, I got enough. There's probably an achievement for getting some number, but... You completed all the 3 challenges necessary to learn the bestiary art. But Lucius to ask for authorization to fight against the bestiary gladiator in the Colosseum. This is gonna get annoying having to go back to him every time. Here's your power permit. Go and win the Colosseum bout against the bestiary gladiator. I'll battle the beastly bestiary till I beat him in the bout. Yes, you received permission, blah blah blah. Go to the Colosseum and defeat the bestiary gladiator to obtain the 3rd piece of the puzzle and the 2nd. Bestiary 1. Choose an attack, press the buttons, follow the sequence, or trace as much of the image. So the same thing. I'm still gonna go with tracing the image, because that's... easier for me to do. Didn't quite manage to finish that one. To go a bit faster. Hit it terrible on that one. X plus A. Okay, tie. Okay. Armor piece, new puzzle piece. Insert the next puzzle piece. Go back to the gladiator school, insert the 3rd puzzle piece in the gladiator mosaic, blah 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 blah. I know the drill by now. Let's save. Yep, inserted, win the 3 mini games. Painting again. Yep. That. Helmet. And this. I actually wonder what the threshold is to count as completed. Glue down here. I doubt I'm gonna have any trouble with it. Okay, got 99. Okay, so that's that thing. What color of books do I need now? You know what, I'm gonna try doing the quiz without the books again, maybe. Did you read the books around Rome? Read the Violet books in the Gladiator School Arena and in the Colosseum. I'm gonna try it without reading them again, and let's see how much I actually know. What did Laqueatores gladiators used to fight? A spear maybe? No, a rope. What did the Sectors gladiators have in the battle? Okay, these are just about different types of gladiators, so I'm not gonna know more. A lot. Maybe 2 swords? No, sword and shield. What did the Sagittari gladiators used to fight? Maybe a lance? Bow and arrows. Can I, no, I can't cancel the quiz. What did criminals do to kill themselves to avoid fighting in the arena? Borrow the guard's knife would make the most sense? No, swallow the toilet sponge. AotW gladiators were dressed in... a fursuit maybe? A suit of armor. That makes more sense, but gladiators don't make sense, so... What criminals usually say to the emperor before they started to fight? We salute you? No, nothing. Just nothing. Where did the painters write the latest gladiator news when there wasn't a wall to write on? On doors? No, on a gravestone. The gladiators were of different types. What did Emperor Septimius Severus do about female gladiators? Maybe let them fight? No, banned them. Okay. I assume maybe they were banned before and he was the only one that let them, but no. Why did some freemen decide to become gladiators? Gain riches? Yeah. Well, I got 2. So... Violet books in the Colosseum and in here. Yeah, so there's 3 in here and there's gonna be 1 in the Colosseum probably. It's thought that gladiators that entered the arena said, "We who are about to die salute you." This isn't true. It happened once and the men were criminals. They cried out, "We salute you," in the hope that the emperor would spare their lives. Heralds entered the arena shouting the names of the fighters while servants carried banners with the names on them. Adverts for arena games were painted by roadsides. If there was no wall nearby, the latest gladiator news would be painted on gravestones. There are several types of gladiator. It would be boring if they were all dressed and armed the same way. They also had very strange names. It would be boring if they were all named the same way. The Andabataes were gladiators who fought blindfolded, very funny for the audience. The Dimacari were gladiators who fought with two swords, like slicers. Retiari were a particular type of gladiator who fought with nets and a trident. Bit fishy, that. Hoplomachie gladiators fought in a suit of armor. That's what you would call hot work. Lacreatores gladiators were very strange. They fought with a rope. No noose was bad news for them. There was a type of gladiators called Decutores. They were very lucky. They fought with a sword and shield. The Sagittari were gladiators who fought with bows and arrows, hoping for an arrow escape. The Bestiari gladiators, as you probably can guess, fought with anything against wild animals, beastly. There was one type of gladiator that was rarely heard of, called Thesaurus. The word means carvers. And this name is carved on a stone in a list of gladiators, but no one knows what they did, and there are no pictures or descriptions of them. Most gladiators were slaves, but some freemen chose to be gladiators. If they did well, they could be rich. However, to join the gladiator school, they had to sign a contract agreeing to be burnt, fastened, whipped, and even killed by their master. Some women became gladiators. The poet Juvenal wrote a poem saying they were a disgrace to their husbands and a joke as fighters. Emperor Septimius Severus agreed banning women fighting, but they could still be thrown to the wild animals. Not all the criminals wanted to die in front of screaming crowds. Some killed themselves before entering the arena. Being always guarded, they went to the bathroom and pushed the toilet sponge down their throat till the sharp stick killed them. And the last one is supposed to be over here. Yeah, there it is. At first, games were held in open spaces. By 100 BC, arenas were built. The greatest killing ground was the Colosseum in Rome. It was the size of a football stadium and held 50,000 people. It was named after the colossal statue of Emperor Nero. The Colosseum has large columns cemented together. They were actually supposed to be pinned with big iron pins, but some funny chaps kept pinching the pins. Games were usually fought on sand, but Emperors Caligula and Nero liked colored dust instead. They mixed white and greenish-blue dust with red dust. What a pretty place to die. The poet Ovid said arenas were a good place to meet women. You just asked, "May I borrow your program to see what's on?" Programs sold in the street were always the same. Morning, animal hunt, lunch, execution, afternoon, gladiators. And the Colosseum was made of stone, making it safe. Earlier arenas weren't safe. Some collapsed, killing as many as the Great War. Emperor Caligula didn't have a big arena collapse in his time. He said, "What a shame. It must be interesting to watch." Okay, let's try this again then. Now that I maybe actually learned something. What did bestiary gladiators use to fight against beasts? Anything. What did Caesar's gladiators use to fight? That's the one that nobody knows. What did the Secretores gladiators have in the battle? That was sword and shield. Why was the arena a good place to meet women? Because many excuses to start conversations. Yeah. What did criminals do to kill themselves? This one. What did Emperor Septimius Severus do about female gladiators? Banned them. Retiari gladiators seem to be fishermen. What did Nero and Caligula use to decorate the Colosseum? Colored dust. What did Dimacheri gladiators use to fight? 2 swords. And last question. What did criminals usually say to the Emperor before they started to fight? Nothing. I have a mini game in the training arena. When an arrow reaches the frame, press the matching direction on the control pad. For a red circle, touch the circle with the stylus. Your goal is 10. Oh. I assume the circle I also touch when it gets here. Press the right direction. Okay. Yeah, completed the mini games. Go get permission, authorization, or whatever. Is there a run button? No. I just have to slowly walk all the way around every time. Here's your power permit. Go and win the Colosseum bout against the Andabatae gladiator. I'll overhaul the Andabatae and be back. Blah blah blah, whatever. Wait lad, when you win you can buy a golden helmet as a reward. Golden helmet? I don't have the cash to splash on that. So take this bag of gold to the blacksmith. He'll sell the helmet to you, lad. Received permission. Go to the Colosseum and defeat the Andabatae gladiator to obtain the 4th piece of the puzzle and the 3rd gold armor piece. Once you have won the duel, as ordered by Lucius, go to the blacksmith to buy a gold helmet. Assuming the fight is gonna be the same again. Yeah, press the buttons or trace the image. They're getting difficult with how quick the time runs out. And not actually having a screen that I'm drawing on. Also definitely makes it a bit more difficult. Is it even possible to get 100? Okay, that will be a decent chunk. It seems like maybe they start out strong but then get weaker score as the battle goes on. No, he got a 90 there again. So maybe not. Okay, but that was a terrible score from him. That was a pretty bad score from me, but good enough. And that's the achievement. New armor piece, new puzzle piece. Here we are at the famous Colosseum, so called because it's, well, colossal, one of history's truly horrible places. A place where thousands die while ruthless Romans watch and cheer. Here's our hero Ruthless, fresh from his victory over an Andabatae gladiator. What a star. What a fool. He has his bag of gold, the one he needs to buy a golden helmet, but does he tuck it safely out of sight? He does not. And if a Roman robber's on his tail, are we surprised? We are not. It seems like Rasmus can hear us cry out, "He's behind you!" He turns and sees the shady shape. He sees the club, tries to duck. Too late. One sore skull later, Rasmus wakes to find his hard-earned gold is gone, and worse, the robber even took the puzzle piece. Oh dear, what will our hero do? Just one thing for it, go and see the blacksmith. See if that good man will give the helmet, even though he has no gold. It's worth a try. Oh dear. That's done. Retrieve the stolen piece of the puzzle. Continue your gladiator training. Go to the blacksmith and try to convince him to give you the gold helmet for free because your bag of gold was stolen by a robber. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to save the game. Probably should have first double checked that everything triggered as it should, but yes, the achievement is done. Yeah, certainly an interesting game, but I'm not sure if it really makes for the best live stream game. So I don't know if I'm gonna play through the rest of it on stream. Since there is a lot of just reading the information about like gladiator related history and then answering the questions and then just simple basic mini games. So yeah. I don't know if I'm going to stream it again at any point. Well, yeah, another achievement of the week done. I forgot to read out the timer again. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 47 seconds. I'll probably come back tomorrow to start the achievement of the month. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. So you know what to do. Do it with style. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and if you're watching at a later time, leave a comment. And other than that, thanks for watching.